Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The 1983 Jefferson Nickel is a 5-cent coin minted by the United States Mint and part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, which has been in continuous production since 1938. The coin features the likeness of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The Jefferson Nickel replaced the Buffalo Nickel, which had been minted from 1913 to 1938. The transition to a new design in the late 1930s was partly motivated by the need to modernize the coinage and partly because of the law requiring a design change after 25 years unless Congress intervenes. The obverse, front, of the 1983 Jefferson Nickel bears a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, facing left. This design was created by artist Felix Schlag, who won a competition held by the U.S. Mint in 1938 to find a new design for the nickel. Schlag's initial concept featured a more stylized and modern interpretation of Jefferson and included a depiction of the Jefferson Memorial on the reverse. However, the Mint requested changes to both sides of the coin before approving the final design. Notably, Schlag had to modify Jefferson's portrait to present a more realistic, stately appearance and change the lettering style to align more closely with traditional coinage aesthetics. The finalized obverse design that appears on the 1983 coin shows Jefferson in profile, with carefully detailed features including his prominent nose, deep-set eyes, and periwig hairstyle indicative of the 18th century. The inscriptions on the obverse include the motto "In God We Trust," positioned to the left of Jefferson's profile, the word "Liberty" to the right, and the date, 1983, directly after it. A small mint mark, either P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or no mark for earlier coins, though Philadelphia nickels began bearing the P in 1980, appears just below the date, indicating the facility where the coin was struck. The reverse of the 1983 Jefferson Nickel features the neoclassical image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia plantation home. The design captures the front elevation of Monticello, with its iconic dome and classical portico. The detailing in the architectural elements, such as columns, windows, and the dome's curvature, is simplified due to the constraints of minting at such a small scale but remains true to the building's distinctive appearance. Above Monticello is the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one." Below the building appears the word Monticello in capital letters, followed by the denomination 5 cents, and the issuing country, United States of America, along the lower rim of the coin. The 1983 Jefferson Nickel is composed of a cupronickel alloy, which is 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has remained standard for the nickel since 1866, with the exception of the wartime nickels struck between 1942 and 1945, which contained silver. The coin has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a weight of 5.00 grams. It has a plain, smooth edge and a standard thickness of 1.95 millimeters. In terms of historical context, 1983 was a year of economic transition in the United States, and coin production remained a crucial function of the mint to support commerce. No significant design changes or commemorative issues affected the nickel in that year, which makes the 1983 issue a typical example of the ongoing Jefferson series. However, production quality and strike sharpness can vary, especially for coins minted at high volumes like those from Philadelphia and Denver. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the 1983 Jefferson Nickel for collectors as part of annual proof sets. These coins, struck with specially polished dies and blanks, feature a mirror-like finish and are usually much sharper in detail. Although not rare in circulated condition, high-grade examples of the 1983 Jefferson Nickel, particularly those with full steps on Monticello, a grading attribute referring to the clarity of the steps at the building's base, are more desirable to collectors. Full-step nickels demonstrate a high-quality strike and are often more difficult to find, especially for coins from years with known strike issues or less attention to die maintenance. Overall, the 1983 Jefferson Nickel reflects a period of continuity in American coinage design. It showcases the enduring legacy of Felix Schlag's work, which remained virtually unchanged for over 6 decades. The design would eventually be modified starting in 2004 with the Westward Journey series, and a new forward-facing Jefferson portrait was introduced in 2006. Nevertheless, The 1983 nickel stands as part of the classic era of Jefferson nickel production and exemplifies the mint's mid-20th century commitment to clean, dignified, and historically rooted coin design. The 1983 Jefferson nickel, while generally considered a common coin in circulated condition, can exhibit significant value in specific cases due to factors such as mint state condition, full steps designation, die varieties, and striking errors. Understanding rarity and value within this issue requires a close examination of the nuances that distinguish an ordinary circulation strike from a collector-grade or investment-worthy specimen. In typical circulated condition, 1983 Jefferson nickels hold only face value due to their high mintage. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 561 million nickels in 1983, and the Denver Mint struck more than 536 million. These quantities make the 1983 issue one of the more abundant years of the series. However, in mint state condition, especially at the higher end of the grading scale, the scarcity increases noticeably. The market value rises substantially when the coin is certified in grades of MS66 or above by major grading services such as PCGS or NGC. A key factor contributing to a 1983 Jefferson nickel's value is the full steps designation. This term refers to the clarity and sharpness of the steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse. To qualify as full steps, a coin must display at least 5 complete and uninterrupted steps. Striking coins with this level of precision was difficult in many years of Jefferson nickel production due to worn dies, rushed minting processes, and insufficient die pressure. For 1983, this challenge is especially true for nickels minted in Philadelphia, where coins often lack the sharpness needed to display full steps detail. As a result, high-grade examples with full steps from the Philadelphia Mint are considerably rarer than their Denver counterparts. A 1983 P. Jefferson nickel graded MS66 with full steps can command hundreds of dollars or more at auction, depending on its eye appeal and population rarity. Prices have historically spiked for coins graded MS67 with full steps from Philadelphia, which are exceedingly rare due to both low survival rates and the mint's production quality at the time. Coins at that level often appear at major auctions and are actively pursued by Jefferson nickel specialists. The Denver-minted 1983 D. Jefferson nickel is more available in high grades, but coins with full steps still hold solid premiums over typical mint state examples. Collectors often seek examples with sharp detail and clean fields, and coins with minimal contact marks, brilliant luster, and well-centered strikes bring the highest prices. In addition to grade and strike quality, die varieties and mint errors can increase the rarity and value of a 1983 Jefferson nickel. Notable errors that exist for this year include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks. While not common, confirmed examples of such errors often fetch significant premiums depending on the severity and visibility of the flaw. A dramatic off-center strike, for instance, that still shows key elements of the design can be worth several $100s or more depending on condition. Double die varieties on either the obverse or reverse, though very rare for this year, are especially sought after by error collectors. Proof versions of the 1983 Jefferson nickel were struck at the San Francisco Mint and carry the S mint mark. These coins were issued in collector proof sets and were never intended for circulation. While proof 1983 S nickels are readily available, deep cameo examples in high grades, such as PR69 DCAM or PR70 DCAM, hold moderate value depending on market demand. However, the rarity in this area lies less in mintage and more in flawless surfaces, deep reflectivity, and frosted device contrast. Another dimension of rarity and value in the 1983 Jefferson nickel comes from population data. In coin collecting, rarity is not solely determined by mintage numbers but by the number of surviving examples in top condition. Third-party grading services maintain population reports, which help reveal how many coins exist at each grade level. For instance, if PCGS or NGC has certified only a handful of 1983 P nickels at MS67 with full steps, their scarcity becomes evident, and prices can rise accordingly due to low availability and high collector demand. In summary, while the 1983 Jefferson nickel is a common coin in circulated form and widely available in average mint state condition, it can become significantly more valuable under certain conditions. The most desirable pieces are those with high numeric grades, the full steps designation, or unusual mint errors. Philadelphia Mint examples with full steps are notably rarer and more valuable than their Denver counterparts. As the coin collecting community continues to deepen its appreciation for modern coin varieties and condition rarities, The upper-end 1983 Jefferson Nickels have become increasingly important to serious collectors and registry set participants alike. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.